A warm welcome all over again to all of you. So, and I'm into chartered management accounting. I joined Dr. Prabhu over about 6 years back. He was doing something called as epigenetics. So, a little introduction on Dr. Different things. He has a lot of more degrees, and he has the passion to help more people. So he's basically a doctor for the last 32 years. So his specialization is in ENT, throat. So beyond that, he's also one of the very few doctors who has a diploma in epigenetics. So now what is this epigenetics? I will tell you in about a few minutes. So apart from that, he is also the member of the European Wellness Academy. So all of this is with regards to reversal of disease or looking at disease at the cellular level. Okay. So beyond this, what else have we been doing as a company? So our company is called Golden Hands Epigenetic Solutions. This was formed in Malaysia over 20 years back. And the thought of going into the preventive healthcare industry came about close to 15 years back, where we saw that there were so many different areas that we could look into. And as we kept going into this path of preventive healthcare, we found so many beautiful things that we could actually use and help patients on a daily basis. So one of that was called Biovibes Analysis. So all of you must have heard about Reiki, Tai Chi, energy. There's so many things that correlates with this. So what Dr. Prabhu has done is that he did a research on human energy fields with the brainwaves. So we have checked over 20,000 people in the last 10 years. And there are some astounding findings where we see how the energy fields play an important role in the brain waves, in your health, and we were able to correlate and help people better. So apart from that, what else are we doing? We are doing something called as hair root analysis. So what is hair root analysis? Again, this is in the department of epigenetics, where we look at what are the factors that are affecting your body at this moment. And then after that, we will see what is it that the body is needing. And then we look at microcirculation. So microcirculation is one more thing that is an amazing tool where you don't even need to do anything. We look at the microcirculation from your head to toe, and then we see what is it that is happening in at the current movement that is going to affect your health. And live cell analysis is something that we started doing once we got into this field of terahertz, wherein we check the live cells and see how beautiful your red blood cells are, and how nicely arranged are these cells. And then we have bioresonance analysis. So this is something similar to hair root analysis, where we see what are the different factors contributing to your diseases. And finally, we also have been looking into stem cell therapy. So stem cell therapy is actually through the European wellness. So all of you definitely would have heard about stem cells. And Dr. Prabhu was one of the first few doctors to work with the European wellness quite some time back. I would say about 15 years back. So where we were looking at giving stem cells for a lot of different kinds of diseases. Okay, so that is a basic introduction of Dr. Prabhu. And now let's go into the introduction of what is epigenetics. Since epigenetics is something, maybe you might have heard of it before this. If not, well, welcome to the world of epigenetics. Whatever that we're going to talk about today will be with regards to epigenetics. And let's see what is best information that we can give. So now, with regards to epigenetics, all of you have heard about genetics, right? We all know what is genetics. We all know what is DNA. So if we are going back to our fifth and primary 5 and primary 6 science, we learned that genetics is something that is given by our parents. It's something that we cannot change. So it can be like the height, and the color of the eyes, and some of the features that you get from your parents. Apart from this, there are also diseases that is given to us by our parents. So all of this information is in your DNA, it's in your genetics. All right. So now what is epigenetics? Epigenetics is a layer above your DNA. So it is covering, it is a one whole layer around your DNA, which is covering the DNA. And also this is something like it changes the way that the DNA is read in the body. That means that, let's say, we are talking about something like our parents had diabetes. All right. So that means that in our DNA, we are prone to have diabetes at some point of time. But what are the factors that make the diabetes come out as a disease is what is epigenetic factors. So epigenetic factors is like the trigger to a gun. So if genetics is the loaded gun, epigenetics is the trigger. So only when you pull the trigger is when the bullet is going to be shot, right? So if you're not going to be pulling the trigger, if you're going to be staying safe, the trigger is not going to be pulled and no one's going to be harmed. But here, what is epigenetics? This is about 800 different factors that is involved in our daily life. So that means to say that there are 800 different things that is affecting the way that the DNA is being read in the body. This is all happening at a cellular level and we don't even realize it. So what I'm saying is that epigenetics, when we say epigenetics, it is going to be something like the food we eat, the water we drink, the different kind of lifestyle that we lead, and what are the different kinds of vitamins, minerals, what is it that we're taking. And one of the most important things is the toxins that is around us. So there is something called as radioactivity, there is something called as toxins, fungi, bacteria. So these are a lot of things that affect us at a cellular level. And we don't actually look into all of this on a daily life. We say, okay, fine, I am healthy. I don't feel any symptoms. I'm not having any pain or I don't feel any discomfort in my body. So we consider that we are healthy. And this is one of the biggest mistakes that we do, because when we're looking at epigenetics, this is literally the first level of disease generation. So when we are looking at the doctor's point of view, they are in the third level, which means that when a disease is set in your body, it is only going to show at the third level. And third level is already quite a late stage, wherein we can say, okay, we can do something about it. So what we propose is that when you're looking into epigenetics, we look at the root cause of diseases. We look at what is happening at your body at this moment, and we also see what is going to happen later on, because this is very important. When we are in the corporate industry, you know how we keep looking at 3-month views, 6 months views, and 1 year views. We forecast and we see what is supposed to be the best that we are going to do for our company. Okay. And when we are doing so much for a non-living thing, why don't we do that for our body? Why don't we even look into this factor, or we don't even think about all of this on a daily basis? So what I say is that all of what we are talking about today is extremely important, because we are looking at a point where we are looking at healthy being. It's not even about having diseases. It's not about what kind of diseases can be cured. It's basically about how can you be healthy in the right way. So for that, you need the right kind of information. We always believe that you are capable and your body is capable of doing miracles only when you are able to provide it with the necessary things that the body needs. So, how is it that we know what the body needs? The body actually can talk to us. Many of us have lost the ability to listen to our body. So, one of the simplest ways that the body is communicating with us is with regards to pain. So, only when we feel pain, we realize, okay, something is wrong with my body. But before it shows the symptom of pain, it subtly shows different other symptoms which we are not able to pick up. So, we say that why don't you look into that? Because in the end, it's health that matters. And with regards to terahertz, terahertz is something that is an amazing tool that we have found over the last 6 months, because we found that water is a very important part of this epigenetics. Why? Water plays a very important role in detoxification. Water plays a very important role in so many other different methods that are happening in the body, which Dr. Prabhu will cover in his talk. So when you're saying detox, we know that 90%, sorry, not 90, 70% of the earth is covered with water. The same way, three-fourths of our body is also covered with water. So we are basically more of water than, muscle or bones or any of that. So when you are covered with almost 70% water, we know that it is a very, very, very integral part of life. And one thing is that when your body is dehydrated, it cannot do many functions. All right. So we know that I'm sure in our primaries we have learned the very importance of water. Here we are trying to tell you what exactly is the right kind of water that your body needs. When you say, I'm drinking water, I'm definitely drinking 2 liters or 4 liters of water every day, but still there are certain functions in my body that is not proper. That's because we need to see what kind of water that you're drinking. The molecular structure, the viscosity, all of this is extremely important. And through our epigenetic studies, we can tell you that the right kind of water can make a huge difference in your life. And this difference can be seen in your daily life with regards to your energies and so many other things. So I'm sure that there'll be a lot of sharing later on. So without further ado, Dr. Prabhu, please take over and please enlighten us more with regards to what is water and how is it helping us with our daily life. And for the new people that have joined, please ensure that you have muted yourself. I see about 3 people who are on unmute. So VJ Murali, Patricia, PW, please ensure that you are muted so that no one else is disturbed with your background noises.
Fantastic. Are you all able to hear me clearly? Akansha, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I think
Yes, doc.
before you
Yeah.
start, please mute everyone.
Very, very good morning to all the
Dr.
people.
Prabhu,
Yes.
before you start, you mute everybody.
Yes, please mute.
How do I do that? Go to the participant, is it?
Go to the
Yeah,
participants and mute
participant.
all.
Mute. It says edit profile, Akansha.
No, no, just click on participants and there is an option of mute all in the middle.
Okay, wait. Okay. I just click on right, is it? No, la.
No, no, no. Click on participants and
Mute
then when
all.
you have the list,
Doors are closing. Now, is it okay? Done?
perfect. Done, done, done. All right.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Once again, a very, very good morning to every one of you who are here on this Saturday morning with a busy schedule. Of course, you're all here to listen to my sharing on health related issues, as well as the essence of water, which is the third episode in my continuous 3 weeks of time. It really, I feel very happy to share this knowledge because every one of us need to know what we need to know and then how we handle our journey. Now, as Akanksha has given a fantastic introduction about myself, so I will just go ahead with the next slide, which will make my things much more easier. So give me, okay, now this is a fantastic thing. You all might be wondering, what is this? Now, can you see on the left side is a Mercedes, which is probably 50 years ago, it was the model there. On the right side is the same model, but it is fully rusted. Now, this is what we all don't understand is whenever you come to this earth, whichever year you are, the number of years you have been on this planet Earth. Now, what are you doing for your? Most of us, what we do is it's like a brand new vehicle which you see on the left side, which is a 2020 Mercedes. Now, don't compare yourself with the newer generation and the body to be the same like what you feel like, and it is. Of course, it is good to feel good about yourself and then be like the new 2020 vehicle with all the technologies. Yes, it's good, but in reality, we are not. Our model is the same like 1950s one, but do not make your body to get rusted like what you see on the right side of your what I mean by rusted is, do not ignore your health and then make it worse with the diseases or without the diseases. Even if you are healthy, it's still okay, but we need to look into what can we do. So what do we do next? Very, very important. Today it's time for you to rethink and reflect yourself. What have you done for you? As Akanksha was telling, even in a business or even in a corporate world, we all look at, we focus. the next 3 months, what's going to happen, next 1 year, what's going to happen, what will be the income we all generate from the company. Yes, fantastic, isn't it? But many of us can't even imagine that this beautiful body is like a vehicle. Now, if this vehicle collapses, if this vehicle, that means we die, you think you can run a corporate company? You think you can go and earn your money? No way, right? So at least from today onwards, change the way what you have been ignoring or looking at your own self. So what you have not done for your body all the while, do not expect a miracle to happen. And just by going to start with terahertz water or whatever the supplement or new way of a dietary regime you are starting, do not expect your body to respond immediately just because you think you want to become healthier. It doesn't mean you think healthier, automatically your body will respond to it. There are few steps of situation where you need to work for it, and then only your body will respond to it. It is a stepwise process. In that way, it's better late than never to start today. And you have to change the way you handle your body, because your body is your temple. You need to change the way you have been handling your day to day. What time you get up in the morning, when you take your breakfast, what you do for your lunch, what's your evening snacks, and what's your night dinner. Everything plays a very, very important role. Now, you cannot take your body for granted, that is for sure, no way. The reason is you have to spend some time for yourself. So here what I mentioned, if you do not spend time for your wellness, let me tell you, your illness will force you to make time. 100%. Just an example, you have a kidney failure and you go for a dialysis. Now what happens? You are forced to go for dialysis every alternate day, whether you like it or not. You have to visit the dialysis center, get your blood cleansed. Can you say, no, 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 I don't have time, I'm very busy with my whatever work you are? You cannot. You won't even say that, because you want to live. So you will definitely go for the dialysis so that you become, at least you're able to live on this planet Earth. But today, let me tell you, change the way you're looking at yourself and start looking at in a holistic approach. It's not just one particular point where you can say, oh, I'm going to be healthy. No way. You have to look at from a holistic quantum point of view. In that way, if I'm going to tell, most of us see a 2D manner, we also see ourselves. But we need to go to the 3D. 3D, you need to go so in that way, you need to spend some time for your wellness, and so that the illness it can take care of automatically. You can move forward. Okay, we go to the next slide. It's not moving. I don't know why. Okay, now how healthy are you is a question you should ask every day. It is not that today I'm asking you and then you ask yourself. No way. You need to ask every day morning, how healthy are you? You will say definitely you're healthy. I agree with you. I totally go with you. Now what happens if you think your body can heal itself from any external threat? Then your body is healthy. It can be a little flu you're getting, and then you don't need to take any medication, and you can overcome the flu. That means you're a healthy person. Flu is still okay. Now with the COVID situation, most of us, definitely we are all exposed in spite of all the precautions and preventions by the government. And then we also take care of ourselves, washing our hands, wearing a mask. Everything is fantastic. We all are doing. But still, how come the number of cases which we are seeing every day is increasing? From where it is, where the infection is coming in? It's all basically your body. When it's only thing, we do not know who can be exposed to the corona and then they can heal themselves. We do not know. But I would say that most of them are healing by themselves, because even though you are exposed, your own body immune system starts to do the preventive mechanism. Now the very important is, we all do blood test every year once. Now what happens in your blood test, you will definitely see that everything is normal except a little bit of ups and downs. But 100% it is good enough, but it is not the situation where your body is all about. Your body definitely has something else. And in this, what I need to share today is, I did recently visit a particular patient in their house. And what happened was, this lady is around 50 years old, and then she was bedridden. She cannot get up and walk. I tried to ask her to wake up and then stand, but she couldn't do it. Can you believe all her blood tests were normal? When I see the blood test, absolutely everything normal. Then what's happening? There is something happening. That means we need to look at the cellular level and go and see what exactly is the body speaking to us. And sometimes, of course, we as human beings may not pick the disease very easily. It's still okay, but still we can help the body. That is when we talk about something called homeostasis. Homeostasis means it's the same state within and outside. That means your body can balance itself by its own mechanism to the environmental situations. This is where we are talking about epigenetics, wherein the factors are going to affect our situation. Now imagine if it is a disease, of course your body is going to read those messages and then automatically manifest for the disease to happen, and then you will start facing the disease situation. So in this way, we all need to have a very, very balanced homeostasis in our body. For this, it is not just one particular technique or one particular methodology of health awareness, or one particular method of wellness, or one particular methodology of day-to-day activities is going to change. No way. It's a holistic approach, and it is independent of individual human beings. You cannot say that this particular person has been practicing this, I also will practice the same thing. It doesn't work that way, because most of us will have our own way of handling our internal methodology. It's like, a company has its own way of protocols inside for its management. So there are no two companies having the same methodology. So in the same way, our body also is different from each individual. So what we need to do is we need to maintain that homeostasis. To maintain that homeostasis, we need to know what kind of epigenetic factors your body is receiving, and what are the signals your body cells are receiving, and how it is reacting and reading that situation. So once it is done properly, your body will automatically balance to the whatever threats it is coming. It is automatic actually. Only thing, when the whole situation goes beyond its control, that is when the disease starts coming in. It's a very simple concept. Anything goes beyond its methodology of control, automatically it goes haywire actually. That is what our body also goes through. Now, we are all called Homo sapiens. Why we are called Homo sapiens is basically because we are supposed to be wise in the animal kingdom. Even though we are number one in the animal kingdom, can you believe we all do the wrong things at the wrong time, and we expect the right results to happen in many ways, in many times. It's you would have seen it very commonly. A person who smokes in and out without even bothering about himself and to the external environment. Now, what do you think? He's not only damaging himself, he is of course damaging the outside world as well. Now imagine, this is when I have seen in many of my 32 years of experience, what I notice is a person who is a smoker, the moment he gets married and he's going to have a child, immediately he will stop everything. Why? Because he doesn't want his child to be affected. And the best part, you will see, these people will never smoke inside their house. Have you ever seen a smoker smoking in the bedroom with the children around? No way. But they will go to the balcony and smoke comfortably and push the air into the. But they don't understand that when you push the air outside, there are other children outside. There are so many people living on the streets. They are also affected. Now, why is that our human body cannot understand this? Now, this is where wisdom comes in. But we have been told that we are supposed to be wise. But shall we all look into it from today and start looking at how can we contribute good things to first ourselves? Let's do it for our own self. Then we can do for others. So basically, it's you. It all starts with you. But in the animal kingdom, we are number one. Let's change that. We are the leaders today. When you are the leader, how you will handle your subordinates, you should handle them very, very politely, beautifully, in compassion. Let's do it from today. Now, going back to our health, this is a very important sharing, wherein you should understand that we have the first level is your cell, second level is your tissue, third level is your organ, fourth level is your human whole body. And in allopathy, wherein we all do is we all most of the time check at the organ level in the blood, whatever tests we do. Of course, we have been doing a great job in many areas. For example, you get a heart attack and then you come to our cardiac center. What we see, okay, there is a block. Immediately we are able to put a stent to you, and then the blood supply is able to be restored back, and the person is alive. Isn't it a beautiful way of helping? Absolutely, the medical fraternity, its way of what I would say is its way of improvements, the technological advances is amazing. See, last time as an ENT surgeon, when I used to operate, I used to, of course, cut and then take out the tonsils. But today we have laser technology so beautifully. We call it as a bloodless tonsillectomies. So today it is an advantage. So of course, when you look at the medical fraternity, there are a lot of beautiful things in the disease management. Now I'm talking about disease management. So yes, there is a lot of beautiful things, fantastic. But for a disease to happen, there are other basic, simple things like from the cellular and the tissue level to manifest in the form of a disease. So what I would request is let's go into the cellular level, micromanagement. It's called micromanagement. When you go inside the cell and start rectifying what it needs, then everything starts changing. Now, this is where we all have to work at the cellular level, think at the cellular level, and it is going to take time for you to understand how the cell works. So for that, you need to go and see how your cell works. Do not look at the disease part. If you want to know about a disease, go to the cellular level and see how it works and how the disease is formed and what are the process of it. I'm not telling you to become a doctor. You don't need to. But with today's Google's technology, everybody becomes a doctor. Everybody is talking about everything what they know. And in the informative world, everything is not right on Google as well. There are a lot of information which doesn't correlate with your diseases. But what you need to do is that is when it's your intelligence to get the right information from the right people. Now, this is a much more detailed one. I'm going up to the atoms. Now, there are 9 steps. There are not 4, there are 9 steps of our body mechanism. Now, at the end of the day, we are all an energy body. Like Albert Einstein said very beautifully, we are a congregation of atoms and we are a living mass. Now, when we are a living mass with all the atoms congregated inside, now, how are you going to talk about our body, our mind? It's all in the energy form. So everything starts with energy. So what kind of energy you're talking? So we are talking about emotions, energy in motion. So what kind of emotions are you giving? For example, if you are going to talk about your disease all the time, 24 hours, talking about it, it could be diabetes, it could be blood pressure. You go on saying, I have diabetes, I have blood pressure, or I have a cancer. Your body receives those signals. The more you use those words, the more body will respond in the same way in the form of frequency. Only thing you don't understand that how it works, but it works that way as vibration or frequency. So you need to be very, very careful in what you're uttering, what you're thinking. Very important. Look at every day, get up in the morning and say, I'm healthy. Utter those words. And whenever they ask, how are you? You should just say, cheers. Yes, I'm doing very good. I'm fantastic. I'm very healthy. You may have a lot of disease within you. Don't worry about it. Give that affirmation. This will start giving your body a chance. Even though the body knows, for example, your body knows you have a diabetes, you are having some complication, but the body will think, this man, he's telling that he's very healthy. So the body automatically tries to adjust, homeostasis. Okay, this man wants the body to be healthy. So automatically the body starts working into the healthy atmosphere. It is an automatic situation. So it's like always I will say, when you put a mango seed, you are going to get only a mango tree. You cannot get a coconut tree, right? In the same way, what intentions you give in your life to day life. All these years, I wouldn't know whether you gave a positive affirmation or a unfavorable. I won't even use the word negative affirmation. I would say unfavorable affirmation without your knowledge. It doesn't matter. Start today. Give a very, very positive affirmation. Now, this is where I would like to thank Dr. Gunbo, who has been in this beautiful journey wherein he has done a lot of research on the terahertz water with this biowell machine, wherein we talk about energy fields. It's an amazing thing where you can change the energy field just by drinking water. Now imagine if water can change, of course your thinking also can change the energy fields, isn't it? So the same way, when you give positive information, your body will respond because your body contains 70% of water, so it automatically starts vibrating. So give a chance for your body to heal back and then get back to the natural way you were. Now, most of us, let me tell you, most of us never had any disease when you're born. What does it mean? You were a healthy individual, right? Forget about the congenital, all the genetic issues which people have. Forget about that. Most of us, we are all born healthy, right? Now, how are we supposed to maintain that health? It's all our responsibility. It is not someone else is going to work for you. So you need to work at that. Now, as I said previously, we are going to be only a drop in the ocean. Whether you agree or disagree, we are just a drop in the ocean. For that, very simple. You are here on the ground. Now, when you see another person, you see the whole picture of him in front of you. It is a 2D. What you do, maybe you just take a helicopter or maybe a helium balloon and sit inside and start moving up. When you start moving up, it's a two-way. Let me tell you, the person on the ground also sees the person. The balloon looks so big, but for you also, from above you look the person also, you can see a little bit big. But as you go farther and farther away from the earth, maybe around 500 feet above our earthly level, you think you can see this person down as big as what you saw? No, it will be definitely a tiny. But once you go above a certain level, you cannot even see anything. It's just a tiny dot. We are. So truly, we are all a tiny speck with the perishable body. Our body is not a permanent solution. It's not a permanent body which you can have for years together. But can you believe that we have people who have been living for 3,000 years? Have you heard of it? You wouldn't have heard of it. Probably it's only in the Indian literatures we have where saints have lived up to 3,000 years. They have lived, and people have lived for 500 years is no big deal. But today you see, we can't even move forward to 50 years of life. And the moment you achieve 60 years, WHSOs is fantastic. Even our Malaysian lifestyle wise, when you are looking at the life expectancy, we have improved much, much better compared to the 2030. But what much better are you talking? 70 years. Is that a big deal? No. We all can live longer. But living longer, my question to every one of is, what are you going to do? What do you want to do? You're going to buy a big buildings, make more money, and then do what? Maybe you want to have luxuries, fantastic. But at the end of the day, what do you want to contribute? You are come here as a temporary guest. What are you going to contribute to this beautiful earth? How can you contribute? What can you contribute? Number one, first contribute to yourself. Then we can contribute for the universe and the other people. This is Akanksha covered 70%, 70%. Yes, water is a very, very important integral part, but very important, very important. Please note what kind of water you are drinking. See, today morning when I was discussing with a particular person, he asked me, Doctor, I'm drinking terahertz water. Do you think that I need to drink this water all through my life? This was a very beautiful question he asked. Then I said, if it's the right water for your body and then your body is able to adapt to it, and then there's nothing wrong in drinking it. Absolutely right. But then he told me, Doctor, I travel a lot, and then probably maybe in that particular country, I may not be able to carry that instrument. Or maybe I feel after 1 year, this instrument breaks up first, whatever the reason. Now, do you think that my body would have adapted? Now, this is where you all should understand that, yes, your body can accommodate to newer situations. This is what is called homeostasis. The moment you are not drinking terahertz water and you're going to drink normal water, it's still okay. Your body will start balancing itself. Maybe it will take some time, but most of the time our body is fantastic to adjust to itself. It is intelligent. It is intelligent wherein you will be able to understand that your body can accommodate to itself. It's fantastic, isn't it? Your body is intelligent enough. So in that way, our job is to give what your body needs. Let it do the job. It can decide what to do, what not to do. See, for example, you're going to drink 1 liter of water. Your body knows how much to take it in and how much to throw it out. Isn't that you're not putting any values to your machine and telling, okay, my dear body, I'm sending you 1 liter of water. You use 500 ml of water. The remaining 500, you store it in the tank or you throw it out. You're not giving any instruction to your body, isn't it? Now, what's happening when your body can be an automated machine so beautifully when it can work? Trust your body first. Trust your cellular level of whatever understanding it has. In creation, we are the most beautiful, intelligent being, not only in the external part, in the internal cellular level, we are very, very intelligent. So help your body to heal thyself. This is very important. This also is a very important study wherein Dr. Emoto, most of you, if you have already know about Dr. Emoto, It's very good, but please do spend some time on going and doing research and reading more about what this beautiful soul has done. He's no more on planet Earth. In 2016, he passed away, but he did a fantastic research and then given to the world that water has memory. Now we all know water is something live. You know, there is what do you say? The water can give facility to living organisms. You pour water, your plants are growing. Why? Because it gives life. So the same way, when you drink water, also it's life which you are. Even though you can live without food, but you cannot live without water. It's an amazing. Now recently, I saw there was one beautiful. A picture wherein a lady is feeding a person on the other side. It is a jail actually, and it's a breastfeeding for this particular person. And that particular picture, it's an 18th century picture. It was sold for 30 million euros. Can you believe 30 million euros? Just a painting wherein a lady is breastfeeding an adult man who is almost 60, 70 plus years, and she is feeding. Now the true story is that this particular man stole the loaf of bread, and he was condemned to death by starving. So they put him in the jail and no food for him. But only his daughter was allowed to go inside the jail to see him and come. Now, nobody else was allowed. The beauty was this gentleman survived for 4 months. Now, this is where the jailers got a little concerned. How come this man is supposed to die? It's almost 4 months, no food, no water. This is a most beautiful situation that this lady was going inside and breastfeeding this father. Now, after the judge came to understand that this man was drinking the milk and then he could survive for 4 months, the most beautiful decision the judge said is the bonding of love between two human beings. It's not the daughter and father. It is a much more beyond that. And he released that man to live back once again in a normal way. Now now the milk also contains water, isn't it? So this is where we need to understand water plays a very, very important role. Now coming back to Dr. Emoto, he has wonderfully done research where you can take a photograph of the water molecule. So in Japan, if you want to know what is a molecular structure of whatever water you're drinking, you need to send a bottle of water to Japan, and they can actually frozen the water and then take a photograph and send it to you back. They charge around 50,000 yen. They are charging for that. So such of those you are interested in getting a structure, what structure is your this one, you can try it out. Now, this is where we need to understand when the water has memory. Don't you think whatever you're thinking, if it is an unfavorable negative word you're going to give to the water will keep it in your body. Because your body has that, right? You may be scolding a person outside, but at the end of the day, your water inside your body is the one which is storing that memory. Outside, if it reaches the person, of course, he might feel that there is something unusual. This person is sending the vibration, and they will feel very odd about you. But many a times it is you who are more affected than the person outside. So better be careful in what you're talking, what you're thinking, and what you're uttering. Very, very important. And never get angry and throw away the words in your anger. It will actually get recorded in your own body. So stop from today. Send a lot of compassionate words, lovable words on to the not only to yourself, to the universe as well. Now, what are the important functions? You all know we need water. Number one, it carries all the nutrients inside the cell beautifully. It carries oxygen. It can carry all the minerals, amino acids, glucose, and other substances. And very important, it's not only giving nutrition to your cell. It is very important that unwanted waste materials and the toxin should be thrown out. For it to throw out, you need to have water. It's just like in your house, you call a maid servant to come and work for you, and you don't give water to her, and you just give tissue papers and say, go on cleaning everywhere. Do you think she can do the job? No way, isn't it? You think even the servant will run away from you because you're not providing her the water to clean. In the same way, imagine your body can only let you know through its signals. How? Thirsty, feeling thirsty. That's how it will tell you, please drink water. But you need to drink sufficient amount of water for your body to do the job which it has been assigned to. Many a times We don't even receive the signals what your body is speaking. That is when we all fail to understand what our body is speaking. And once a disease comes, you're not going to a doctor who is specialized in the cellular medicine. You are going to a doctor who is specialized in diseases. So what happens? You come to us, automatically we will look into what kind of disease. The moment you say fever, what will happen? Everybody will think of what are the reasons for fever. Now, maybe if you are before 1 year before, the moment you go to hospital and say you have a high fever, what the doctor will say? Dengue fever. That's the first thing they will look into, or maybe malaria. But today you go and say you have a fever 38 degrees, the first thing they will look into is COVID. Now, do you think that all the patients, all the people who get a fever is all COVID? No, it is one of the symptoms, but we are much more careful. So we do not want to rule out COVID. So that's the reason we are a little more careful. Because you have a fever, we want to check with your COVID. So this is where water plays such an important situation. Now, other than that, if you're not going to drink water, like you are mildly dehydrated, you try, your temperature can go up very fast, because temperature regulation of the body, one of the water is one of the ingredient for it to regulate your body temperature. Now, other than that, can you believe your eyes is so moist? How is that? It's because water. Now, of course, there are a lot of other reasons for your eyes getting dry. Now, such of those who are using contact lenses, let me tell you, the more contact lenses you are using, you are actually damaging your cornea. Definitely in a long run, you will face some problems unless you are using a soft lens. Even then, your eyes is not created wherein you need to use a lens over the eyes. Maybe a spectacles, yes, it's still okay. But when you are using a lens, definitely chances are very, very high that you can get a problem after using it for many number of years. But there, I leave the choice to you. You all decide what you want to do. If you're using a contact lens, it's up to you. Now, you all look at the beauty part, right? But beauty is only skin deep, they say. Let's all look much more deeper and do not damage our body. It is very important in lubricating getting your joints. Most of you, when you have joint pains, your uric acid level goes high. Now, if you have sufficient amount of water, it cleanses the uric acid and then throws it out to the kidneys. When you're not drinking water, how your uric acid will be clean? So automatically the uric acid will go back and stay in your tissues and your joints and the bones. That is when you start getting aches and pains at your joint level. So you need to drink a sufficient amount of water. Now, this is a very beautiful picture wherein you see how the cellular, can you see the cell contains 25 liters of water of the whole body? You know, I'm not talking one cell here. 25 liters in the whole number of cells. Now, 25 liters is quite a bit, you know. In the extracellular fluid, can you see it's only 12? And in the plasma, in your blood and all, it's only 3 liters. So that means your cell needs more of water than anywhere else outside. Now, you're drinking water. Now, do you think the water is going inside your cell? If, for example, we are going to talk about the molecular size, which I'll be talking a little later, now, for example, if your cell also, you're pushing too much of water into your cell, what will happen? Your cell will overhydrate also. So automatically the body, what it will do is it has to push the water outside to the external interstitial fluid so that it can balance. So this homeostasis of balance is going on every second in your body. Now, many times when the cell cannot go out, for example, the cell is sick, the water goes inside, it gets locked up, it cannot come out. Now, what happens? The cell swells up. Automatically, if you think a few cells are swelling it up, what happens? You will start facing some issues. Now, many of us would have heard this situation where the doctor would say you, the water is locked into your lungs. You know, that's why you're not able to breathe. And that's why what the doctor will do is we will actually reduce the amount of water so that the load onto your lungs is less. So we do reduce the amount of water to drink, and thereby we help you to recoup back, and then finally we help you to walk back normally. But many a times people will start drinking less of water. This you would have seen many times after you have the water in your lungs. When you come out of the hospital after admitting, definitely you'll be listening less of water. Now just tell me this one. We have lungs, the water in your lungs, we are healed, we come outside. You drink less water, it's okay, no problem. Now tell me one, this is a common sense situation. Don't you think you need sufficient amount of water for your brain for it to work? Don't you think your kidney needs a sufficient amount of water for it to flush the toxins out? Yes, we need it. So, but you're drinking only half liter of water. You're drinking only 1 liter of water. So what's happening? It is a problem. It is definitely a problem. Now, this is where being healthy is much better than having a disease and then trying to manage. See, always disease management is more difficult than curative, because more than in prevention, it's much more easier. You can prevent a disease from coming in, but once the disease sets in, it's most difficult. But let's look into the cellular level now. There is a door. In simple language, you all should understand there is a door for your cells to open up so that the water can go inside. It's called aquaporin. Now, there are a lot of functions of aquaporin. In one of the functions which I would like to share is it's in the kidneys. Now, if this aquaporin, there is a particular enzyme which is necessary for this to open up. Now, if it doesn't work, it leads to one of the situations in diabetes. Can you believe this? It is in your kidneys. There is a particular aquaporin, which is number 4. And from there, what happens if it doesn't work properly, it leads to diabetes. There is a situation. Now here, let's not get into much more detail. What I say is, if the water molecule is small enough, it can go inside. It's very simple. For that, what you need to is, this is where we are looking at, if you can drink water with the right molecular structure frequency, then automatically your cells will start hydrating. Now this is where we are able to show that it is not only terahertz water, there are other waters also available in the market. When you drink those water, definitely there can be some good hydration which is happening. So that means it should be the right molecular size, your water, it can go inside your cells. So very simple. So in that way, when the latest technology of terahertz is that, this is the latest one, that is it. Now there are other companies which are giving you a water molecular of smaller size. Yes, they, when they drink, of course they do hydrate your system very well. Now coming back to your aquaporin, I need to show you on the right side. Can you see there is a red arrow which shows diffusion of slow movement, which is temperature sensitive. That means what happens when you're having a mild, we call it fever, right? If your temperature rises to around 38 degrees, you feel feverish, right? But your body, it feels the temperature has gone up, it needs more water. So that is where you will feel a little more thirsty, and the water starts diffusing inside the cell because the cell is getting dehydrated. So this is an automatic mechanism. One is through the doors, the water can go. Another one is through the diffusion, it can go inside. Now coming back to water, we all know we are drinking water. What kind of water are you drinking? For your just information, there are different types of water. It can be tap water, spring water, well water, oasis, ionized water, river water, distilled water, or reverse osmosis, structured water. It has been there for almost 25, 30 years, structured water. Now what is terahertz also is a structured water we are talking. Schumann's energy water is there. Emret water is also there. So there are a lot of structured water, and there has been proof where Dr. Imota has shown that when you use the positive words and prayers, your water becomes structured. Means a beautiful hexagon shape is seen. So by using words also, you can change the structure of the water. So there are a lot of methods available wherein you can change the structure of water. But today is more of concentrating. I will be talking about the structured water through terahertz mechanism. Now, ideally, the drinking water, this is also very, very important. What is an ideal drinking water? It must be drinkable according to WHO, which the pH must be 7.4 to 8 or 8.5 is still okay. Then your total dissolved solvents, it's called TDS. It's between 550 to 200 is good enough, but WHO accepts until 500 TDS, it still accepts. But I would say let's not go beyond 200, because total dissolved solvents means it includes all the heavy metals, the nutrients, the minerals and trace elements, everything is inside that. Now, this is where if you look at reverse osmosis filtration system, it filters everything, including the mineral, and it gives you a just plain water without any mineral. That's why when you do a testing of TDS, it is 0. And of course, when you look at the 0, this one, in a long run, your body may not accept that, because we are not supposed to drink a totally bland water. You need to drink water with minerals. So this is where even the reverse osmosis machines nowadays has come out with additional mineral content inside. There is something called oxidation reduction potential, which is ORP. Ideally, if you look into most of the water filtration system, it might be between 0 and plus up to 50 to 100 or 200. But if you're talking about any liquid which is plus 500, that means it's very acidic. In that way, if you look at Coca-Cola or any other aerated drinks, it is all normally 400 to 500 plus. Or even acidic water will be all more than 500. Now, if you're going to drink one time a 500 plus for ORP, it's still okay. Your body doesn't do anything. But if you're going to drink the same Coca-Cola all through the life, and especially I see some people, especially while having food, they drink Coca-Cola. I don't understand. When God has created water to be drank, these beautiful souls, without their knowledge, in ignorance, they are drinking Coca-Cola for their instead of water they are drinking Coke. Do you know how much of damage you are creating? And added to that, they are eating all the non-vegetarian with oily stuff. Now, don't you think you're pushing in your body with so much of acidity? So what happens to your body? It becomes acidic. And youngsters, of course, you may not feel the disease right now, but definitely in the next 10, 20 years, you will have a disease. And automatically, once a disease is coming in, what you're going to do? You will go to a hospital. Then what the doctors will do? We will treat you for the disease. We are not going to treat you for your Coca-Cola, which you consumed 10 years ago. We are not going to treat that because it's already done. And the very important is your water should not have any bacteria, viruses, and parasites. Very, very important. Now there are a lot of diseases which is transmitted through water, like diarrhea, bacillary dysentery, typhoid. These are all transmitted through food and water. So your water should be much more cleaner. Then, very important, it should not contain any heavy metals and chemicals. In this, what example I give, just imagine a beautiful lake available in Kuala Lumpur, and then you're going to take that water and drink. Just visualize yourself, you're in KL, it's a normal lake there, and of course, you just go take that water and drink. Can you just visualize that? There are a lot of air pollution which is down there because of the vehicle. Don't you think that pollution all going and settling on the water down there? Now what is happening? The heavy metals, toxic chemicals, it's all already going inside. Then automatically what happens? If you going to drink that water, it's a poisonous water. You are not drinking a healthy water. Now then you need a filtration system. Now in that way, in the city life, we all have a water system which we get from the company. So what we need to understand is it is not a clean water. So you need to fix a filter outside, then filter inside as well. So you need two filtration system, please. It's not just one filtration. And don't think that just because you boil the water is good enough for you to drink. Sorry, those days, yes, but not now, because now we have a lot of problems because of the water. So you need to have a proper filtration system. Now, how do you store the water? It can be in the clay, glass containers, ceramic, copper containers, food grade plastic. All these are all but when you come up to our this terahertz water related situation, it is been told that you're supposed to avoid anything with metals, and preferably copper and all. We are supposed to avoid it. But what I would say is, if you're going to pour water into the copper or the steel containers, you definitely can drink water from this. You definitely can cook whatever food from the steel vessel. It's nothing wrong, because your water is already terahertz, and then there is a structure which is already created. Now this structured water, even if you are going to expose it to an X-ray machine or to a high pressure situation, the water doesn't lose its properties. So you don't need to worry about how will it be, when I do it in a steel container. It's, after all, you're going to cook, right? Please do it. There is nothing wrong in doing. We are only concentrating on drinking. Now drinking also, what I would say is, if you're going to store it for a very long time, then maybe the effect of it might be slightly low. That is it, nothing else. You're not going to drink a poison inside your body, isn't it? Only the efficacy may be slightly low. It's still okay. But always it's better to go with the right kind of storage system and drink the water. Now, why we are talking about dehydration is because this, without our knowledge, we all are facing the situation. Because in my blood analysis, when I see a lot of people who come, invariably they are dehydrated because the cells are clumping together. In my own case, today, if you check my live blood cell, it's all separate. It's beautifully twinkling and then, separate. How is that? It almost 2 months now, I'm still drinking the terahertz water, and then my body is fully accustomed to this terahertz water, so no big deal. So I can drink other than terahertz water, I can still drink full terahertz water. It's not a problem. My body is accept. accustomed to it. But in your case, always start with a lower dose and then start increasing it to a maximum of 2 liters, especially when you're having diseases. Please avoid pushing your body with too much of terahertz water, and do not look into a solution after something happens and then look for blaming the situation that you recommended me this water and then finally I'm having this problem. Please, you need to start with a slow, and you need to understand your body will respond. If your body is reacting, it's a different situation, your body will respond. You need to feel the response and accordingly try to balance yourself. So it is your responsibility to start with lower dose and then slowly increase it and then start balancing your water content in your body. This is your responsibility. Of course, from outside we can tell it's a very good thing, this disease cured, that disease cures. Do not get entangled in the disease cure system, please, because this is where you need to understand that your body is different. You can have diabetes, you can have hypertension, it doesn't matter, but the way you respond, the body response will be different. So just be careful. So in that way, dehydration plays a very, very important area. So cellular dehydration goes unnoticed. That means you won't even know that. Have you ever noticed, you have a high fever, you go to the hospital, and then in the hospital, the doctor, what they will do is they'll put you on IV line, glucose they will give you. Can you believe, once you take 250 ml of water directly into your IV line, into the vein, you will feel much better, your fever comes down, you feel much energetic. Why is that? It's just because of a dehydration. You had a fever and a fever-like situation wherein you have not gone in for a major infection. It's only dehydration. That is how when the IV fluid goes inside, your body recoups back and you can return back. The doctor will discharge you by evening and say, go back home. Now what happened? It's your body directly. Now this is where you need to hydrate your body well, time to time. Sipping of water is very, very important. Do not gulp water one shot, half a liter to 1 liter, and then say my body is going to get it. No way. You have to take sips of water. That is how, maybe hourly once or 2 hourly once, take little of fluid. Then you see the response of your body will be amazing. You will never have a problem. So this is where the little drops of rain make a mighty ocean. In that way, little drops of this common sense in your brain will take you into a healthier journey of life. Now, metabolism and balance between your intracellular, extracellular, it happens very, very. So in that way, if it is a dehydration, for example, I'll give you, if you're drinking less water, for example, what happens? Your body cells is requiring water. So the cells, what it will do, whom it will ask, it will tell the person, hey, the thirst feeling is triggered up. So the moment thirst is signaled and you are supposed to drink water, but what you are doing, you are in a meeting and you're so busy that you will think, no, it's still okay, I will drink the water after the meeting. Now the meeting is after 1 hour, will be finishing after 1 hour. Now what happens? The body is already told you that it needs water and you're not drinking the water. Now what happens? The body automatically will think this man is not anywhere, not going to drink water, he's so busy with his meeting and wants to make money, it's still okay. So it will call the kidneys, it will inform the kidneys, sir, this fellow is not drinking water, please do something. So what the kidneys will do is it will stop the urine coming out. It's automatic. It will reduce the urine. I'm sorry to say, it's not stop. It will reduce the urine coming out of your body. Then it will recollect the urine and send back to the body. Now, how much of water can it prevent your kidneys from going out? Only a little bit. But still you're not drinking water. So now what happens? The kidney cannot function properly without proper water. To an extent, yes. Now this is where many times many patients don't have diabetes, don't have any diseases, but suddenly one day they will have kidney failure. Now what happens? If kidney failure, automatically doctor will tell less of water only. Now why that situation came in? Because you drank less of water, the kidney problem has come now. Now doctors also, we will tell you, sorry boss, you have to drink less of water only because you cannot overload. Now this is a very tricky situation for you. So do not allow drinking less of water and totally making your kidney not function. Do not do that. Take care of your kidneys, very important. Now it affects the way DNA reads also. This is another very, very important at the cellular level, how it reads. Now this is how very, very important is. You need to understand that whenever you are drinking water sufficiently, your DNA reads the information properly and then it will do the necessary requirement. This is where structured water, when it goes inside, it is able to give the right information for the cells to work properly so that the DNA will perform its duty by reading whatever the messages given by the signaling. So water plays a very important role in your DNA reading. And then, of course, many diseases because of cellular dehydration happens, and the brain cell also is very important for it. It needs water. But here I am going to stress upon your kidneys is very important, because there are a lot of important functions. You see the 4 important functions, like throwing out all the toxins, metabolites, and drugs. If you're taking medication for your blood pressure or your diabetes, you are going to throw that out from the kidney, from your liver to the kidneys, and then throw it out. Many times we are not able to, because we are not drinking sufficient amount of water. Now there is a water balance, electrolyte balance, and acid bed balance. In this area I need to share something is, many times when you drink a lot of water also is a problem, because all your nutrients can be flushed out in association with the water as well. Like for example, you would have seen when a tsunami happens, there are good people in that particular town, right? Good people with good souls who have been doing a lot of good things. But when tsunami comes, do you think that tsunami will decide, okay, this person is a very good person, so I'm going to spare him from the effect of this tsunami effect? No, right? It will be washed away. In the same way, when you are taking more of water, this is where I say overhydration also is not good for you. So when you overhydrate, what happens? All the good things like your potassium. Now, something you will feel when you drink a lot of water, or when the water pushes out all your chlorides, your potassium, and the sodium, you will feel a little bit of imbalance, wherein you may have muscle pain, a little tiredness, a little body pain, very uneasiness. You will be thinking, I'm drinking terahertz water or a structured water I'm drinking. Now, why am I having this problem? This problem is not because of the water, because the water is actually a lot, and it is pushing out the good nutrients also outside. So this is where you need to have a very balanced. So always I am telling you need to have a balance of everything. Anything overdoing also is a problem. Anything underdoing is also a problem. So be careful. There are a lot of other, the third function is your endocrine function, very important. It is from your kidneys. So just imagine your kidney fails. There are 4 different functions is a problem for you. Do you think you can recover from your kidney problem once you have a failure? No way, because you have all these problems which I have, all the functions of the 4 which I have put here, it will be all exaggerated, and 100% you'll have more problem. So this is where you need to be very careful. If you're looking at taking care of your kidneys, you better drink sufficient amount of water, and you need to talk to the right people to get more information of whether you're drinking structured water of terahertz or any other water. Plan your thing accordingly and then start moving forward. Now, this is where I am coming here to let you know that terahertz is a newer technology, and there are a lot of situations where we are talking about structured water, and terahertz also is a mechanism or a device where you use to structure the water so that it becomes easy for your body to get absorbed. Now, just imagine yourself. Do we all need terahertz water or a structured water? Do we need it? If you question, I would say in today's life, yes, we need it. The reason is, let's 50 years behind. Probably the water we used to get was much cleaner. Probably we were all living the riverside, and probably we had a well in our own house. So we used to draw the well water and drink. Probably everything was clean. Everything was good enough. That time we don't even have to think of the structure, because it will be smaller enough. You didn't have much of poison inside your body. And that is how whatever, even if it is a bigger molecule clusters, the body used to absorb it very easily. But today, even if you are going to give a smaller molecule, we have other agents telling, sorry, you cannot go inside. Is what? Your chemicals, your radiation, your toxic metals, all these are telling, come on, don't say go inside. So it is blocking your absorption of nutrients. Now, it is not the water's problem, even though you're drinking a very good water, still these guys are there. Now, you should understand that when these guys like the toxins and the heavy metals are there, you cannot become healthy. You need to throw them out first. So there are mechanisms for clearing those in a form of detoxification. Now, terahertz becomes a very easy because it is a low frequency. Whereas your mobile phones, television, these are all higher frequency. When you're talking low frequency, that means the effect and the side effects of it, or the negative effect of it, will be slightly definitely better than the other ones. Now, resonated water is definitely much better for us for now, because But still, I would definitely say that there are not many clinical evidences and clinical studies drinking this water. But I would say there are a lot of clinical studies done by structured water. There are a lot of studies there. If you're drinking structured water, there are a lot of good benefits there. So let's go into the benefits of drinking a structured water. So terahertz can be used in different areas, but today we are going to talk about water alone. So let me go with water. Of course, you can use terahertz technology, wherein it definitely affects the situation where the molecular structure is changed into a smaller, and it becomes much more easier. So you can terahertz water, oil, juices, any liquids or gel can be. Terahertz is an advantage. The advantage of low frequency resonation to water molecules, it gets into a linear technology, because most of the time we understand that the water molecules are in the cluster form. It's 15 to 20 is a normal water, regular water. The ionized water is between 4 to 6, but here it's a linear technology. That is where going inside in your cell is much more easier. When you stand in a line, when you go across for doing something, is much more easier than 10 to 15 people going to get the same situation. So it's the same mechanism where our body also can handle it in a much way. Now, coming back to the terahertz device, it emits 0.9. This is an average, 0.96 hertz of frequency it emits is an average. Of course, it can vary from 0.6 to 1.4, but the average they have taken from the company and told us is it's a 0.96 terahertz, which is the one which comes out of the device. Now, once it comes out of the device, what happened? It breaks down the molecular width of the water to a 2 nanometer, wherein it can go inside your cell. This is a very important information. It can you means your cell can drink the water much more easily. The third is your water frequency, which we are talking about, is 7.6. Now, there are a lot of other frequencies available in the market. The MRET is 7.83, Schumann's energy. So there are a lot of other waters available also with a lower frequency. Okay. Now, in that way, give an opportunity for your body to heal with a lower frequency, a smaller molecular water with the right properties is an important message which I would like to give. Now, what is the benefit of terahertz resonated water? The main benefits are it is antibacterial, wherein 89% of the E. coli is reduced, which is a gut bacteria. Most of our problems happens in your intestine. Now, this is where 89% of this bad bacteria. Now, there will be a question for many of you. They're thinking that, doctor, if I'm going to drink this water, will my good bacteria also be flushed out? I can definitely tell you, good bacteria are intelligent enough. They drink the water and they will do the good job of the benefits. What they are supposed to do, they will do for your body. It is only the bad bacteria doing all the bad things. But many a times it is when you drink this water, these bad guys are thrown out. That is it. So simple. So good ones will stay back. But many a times, if you're going to drink more water, maybe even the good guys also can go out a little bit. That is when you need to balance it. So it has an antiviral, antifungal effect. Antioxidant effect is giving an oxygen molecule to your oxidation process. Then the best part is the anti-radiation. So probably what they mean is, when you're drinking this water, maybe the positive rays, like for example, you're going to sit and watch TV for a very long time. So the negative effects of the TV can be reduced to a minimal, but I wouldn't know how much it is reducing. I don't know. So I cannot give you an exact picture of how much benefit can you get as an anti-radiation. But the company has done a research and they say treated water is 0.08 hours and non-treated is 0.13 hours. So there must be some benefit. The viscosity of the water also here plays a very important role. It's much more slippery. When it is much more slippery, I want to give you a clue. When you are drinking, for example, one gulp, you're taking half a liter of terahertz water. What will happen? The water goes inside. There is no time for the water to even get absorbed. It goes inside, the stomach churns it, and then automatically it goes into your intestine and then starts flushing out from the intestine. And then maybe some people will feel like, passing your bowels. Why? Because everything is, because I did receive a call, and then there was a patient after drinking 500 ml of one shot, the patient did have this problem. But what I did was I changed the thing and I told him, no, now sip water. That means every hour, maybe 50 ml to 100 ml of water, but drink it for 3 to 4 hours. Can you believe in 3-4 days time, he felt much better, and he said 90% of my problem is solved. I'm not going to toilet now very frequently. So this is very good news. So this is where I'm sharing to you. Sip the water, take little water at a time so that your body can absorb it. Don't gulp your water fully. Please do that. And the benefit is, other benefit is angulation of the molecule improves when you resonate the water by 3 to 5 degrees. That means the water becomes a live water from 104 to 109, and that is an advantage of getting more energy. Now this is very, very important. When you're drinking a structured water, it has more energy. So when it has more energy, that is where when you see the cells, live cells, they cannot go join together. They have to be separate, and then they start moving separately, and they all go do their job what they are supposed to do. And resonated water is absorption is much 3 times more better, and it does give the benefit of a lot of pollutants, and there are a lot of other benefits which you can get by drinking the low resonance water. Now there is something very important you need to read is, when you drink a resonated water, the transmission of information in the cellular level, as I've been speaking about it, it happens very well. And it is supposed to remove all the harmful chemical and magnetic radiation, and also rewrite the messages what already the higher frequency has conveyed to your DNAs. It can slowly rewrite, but it all takes time. Please, this is all we are talking about, single cell and then single. So if you're talking 50 trillion cells, it's going to take a long time. And this water is very stable even in spite of boiling, exposing to X-rays and exposing to high pressure. It is still safe and then doesn't change its properties. It's very good. So once again, when you are resonating a oil, the absorption is around 19 to 20% is lesser. So cooking much better. Resonated water helps in the intestinal. Already I told you, definitely good bacteria are very happy. And here I wish to share that I've been consuming this water for the past 2 months, and amazingly, I was excited because when I saw my cellular live cell, it was all clogging together, and then after drinking, it was much more beautiful. But it took almost 1 month for me to see the benefit. So definitely there is some good uh, changes happening in my own self. But let me tell you, there are glitches and hitches which I have been facing in the past 2 months, but little. Maybe I can say a little bit body pain I had, but I will just compensate with the right nutrients, and I will balance it. When I know I am taking more of this water, when my body says, then automatically I change. I do churn between the terraz water and normal water in my house. So it is you who have to balance it, and then start taking alternating depending on your body mechanism. At the end of the day, of course, the plants has a fantastic response. When the plants has a fantastic response of using the hydrated water, hydration is much better using a resonated water. So I would say our body also plays a very important role in accepting the hydration and doing its function. So at the end of the day, I wish to convey a message is, you need to have a balance in whatever you do. Do not blame anybody. You need to be balanced, and it's ultimately your body. You should know how it works. You should know how it responds. So balance is the key for everything. It's not only drinking water, it's also your food habits, your thought patterns, your day-to-day activities. Everything needs to be a balance. So please be balanced in whatever you do. Now definitely this terraz resonated water is going to be the future. There are a lot of good things, but my humble request to every one of you who are starting off, especially if you are having a lot of diseases, it could be even a simple diabetes. Let me tell you, start lower dose. Take 500 ml, 100 ml each of hourly basis, split it up. Then slowly you see for 3 4 days to 1 week how your body responds. You're okay with it, then increase the dosage to 1000 ml. So maximum, if you're all having some diseases, go up to 2000, and then just balance from there. Take normal water as well, because we do not know how your body is going to respond. If you're going to take more water, we do not know. So do not consume more water and make a problem, and then start looking at terrors is the reason. Terrors is not the reason. Terrors is a beautiful situation. It's we who have to decide what our body requires. So know yourself first, get more information, as Google is always available. Get more information. But other than that, there are a lot of information where people are well versed with the terras. This one, looking for them, get more information. And very important, do not look for cure of a disease, with terahertz water. I'm sorry to say this, do not look for a cure for a disease by drinking terahertz water. It doesn't happen. If that is the case, I would definitely recommend we close down all the hospitals and we just sell only terahertz water and everybody will be healthy. It doesn't work that way. The reason is, as I showed you the Mercedes Benz, even if you repair the Mercedes Benz and then fill the petrol full tank and then you want to drive, if the electrical system is not there, still you cannot drive, isn't it? It's like that. Just because you're drinking water, it doesn't mean that you are going to get cured of all the disease. Your body needs 92 nutrients, 92 trace elements, 92 varieties of trace elements, amino acids, carbohydrates, and how much are you taking? You're just drinking water and then finally telling, I'm having this problem. No way. You look into yourself. This is where respond to your body. Very, very important. You take responsibility. You go do the groundwork of what are the benefits of this beautiful structured water. I'm talking structured water, right? Now be informative about whatever information you can collect. Do collect it. Stop blaming for your deficiencies, please, because you just drink water. And as I told you, if you come to me, I'll ask what kind of nutrients are you taking. If you're having body pain, I'll tell you take some, maybe drink tender coconut water because it contains potassium chloride. Maybe you go in for a hypoglycemia. We do not know. As a diabetic, after drinking the water, your sugar level can go down and you will feel uneasy. But do you think that it's because of the water? No, it's because of your glucose level going down. Now, this is where you need to see what is the reason for that particular situation. The homeostasis of the situation, very important. And have a very, very balanced lifestyle. Be it eating, be it doing anything, have a very, very balanced lifestyle and start moving forward. And do not trust everything seeing on the WhatsApp, on your social medias and the Google. Very, very important. You have to, whatever information you get step one step behind, go back, analyze the whole situation. Is it true? Is it the real fact? Analyze it. Then what if I am going to consume this or going to take this, be it a vitamin, be it the water, be it a recommendation of anything? You need to analyze, is it worthwhile for me to try this out? If you want to try it out, do try it out first and then only start getting into it. So very important is ABC of life, always be careful in everything you do. Number one. Then what are the things you need to do is you cannot overhydrate yourself. Please, there are a lot of people drinking a lot of terahertz water, and finally when there is a problem, that is when people start calling your people who sold the machine and then telling them that I have this problem. It doesn't work that way. Start with the lows. As I already told you, people with pacemakers, of course you need to be a little more careful. This is what we have been instructed. I also cannot tell anything more because we do not have any scientific evidences and papers presented. But I would say it is always better you start with lower sips of water. Nothing will happen because sips of water may not have a very high energy. It can definitely help you, but you need to try with that. I am not watching for it, but you need to try. There are complicated diseases when you have start with a very, very low dose, especially people with lung issues, people with kidney issues. You need to try. If at all you want to start with a lower dose. Even you can do it is mix it with the normal water 50% and drink it first, so that your body understand that you're going to change something. Talk to your body and tell, I'm going to change you so that you become more healthier. Reverse osmosis, I already spoke to you that it's a bland water. You need to have nutrients inside it. So with this, what you need to understand is you need to have a fantastic journey of life, holistical approach. You need to see everything and then only start working for your own self. And of course, I am very, very careful in letting you know that I do not claim or proclaim any cures, and especially in the medical cures, by drinking this water. For the reason is we do not have any clinical papers presented by drinking this water, and no scientific community has done any. But I can definitely tell you there are a lot of structured water researches has been done. A lot of good benefits are there. But at the end of the day, it is you individually who need to take the responsibility of seeing how you can work on this situation and then move forward.